There we go. I hope that this will work. Okay, everyone. Welcome and happy Monday. This is um, a new time for me to be doing the call, so I'm thrilled to start the week this way. My name is Carla Hill. I live in Houston, Texas, and I have been an entrepreneur all of my life. I started a skincare company when I was in my 20s, and I'm 66 now, so that was a long time ago. This was before the internet, and so we bought airtime and did infomercials. And freedom has always been my number one value. And so all my life, I looked for a way to kind of finance my passions, whatever they were, whether it was spending time with family or traveling. And it's taken me on some crazy journeys. I've had some massive successes, I've had some heartbreaking failures. And I did probably 4 or 5 direct sales companies. And when you're with a company that's not built to last, you get a little jaded and a little calloused. And that's kind of what happened to me. I built a business for 8 years with one company only to have my upline start their own company, and half of my organization went away almost overnight. And I just put garlic pods around my neck and a shotgun in my lap. And I said, I'm never going to do another direct sales company again. And I didn't for 10 years. I got into medical aesthetics because I figured at the time I was 50 years old, and I thought if I need to get wholesale on the perks for staying young, I'm going to get into that industry. And so that's what I did. So I worked with plastic surgeons and dermatologists and med spas, and I became quite the skincare snob. And so when my daughter, in 2009, my daughter was 13 and her father passed away. And I realized that I was the sole caretaker, that college was right around the corner. And I needed to be with her full time as a mom, but I still had to create a full time income. And so my heart became open where it hadn't been for 10 years. And one of my spa directors, an employee that worked for her, invited me to a lunch meeting, and I almost didn't go because I could tell it was some kind of direct sales thing, and I was all skeptical and didn't want to didn't want to go, but something just made me go. And what I saw there was amazing science, and I also saw that the people that were standing in the front of the room talking had been with the company for over a decade, and they loved it more that day than they had when they had started. And I realized that I had been led there. And so, whether you're on the call today and you are looking for a way to stay young longer, or you're looking for an alternative income stream, or you are looking um, to build an income that you can earn while you're sleeping so that you can do the things that you're passionate about in your life, whatever's brought you to the call today, I could not tell you um, any more emphatically that where you are right now is the right place at the right time. So, one of the things that we know is that the world is aging. And we know that no matter how we adjust our chronological age, we have to really focus on our biological age because we can't control how long we're going to live, but we want to have youth and vitality in our aging. And we want to prolong the symptoms that usually plague us as we get up in years. And so we're going to talk about 15 seconds that could actually change your life and the history that brought us to where we are today. This is truly intelligent wellness, and it is with a device called Prysm IO. And if you have not heard of that, this is your opportunity to do just that. So, as we know, we're living longer, but we don't have the vitality and the health and the energy that we had in youth, usually the last 5, 10, 15, sometimes up to 20 years of our life. And so, what we really want to do is empower each of us to increase our youth span as we age longer. What would it take to do that? How does that look? How do we measure it? And how can that impact our life? The old paradigm was that aging is inevitable and that there's nothing that you can do to influence it. But what we now know is that through gene expression science, we can actually alter the way that we age in a powerful and profound way. Many of you are familiar with Dr. Joe Chang. He's our chief scientific officer, and he wrote a book called The Aging Myth. And he began to discover that there is something that we can do, regardless of what we inherited gene wise from our parents. There's something that we can do to alter the way that we're aging in a way that puts us in the driver's seat of our life. And this is very exciting. There is something called biohacking. And if you haven't heard of it, it is literally a way to have small incremental measurements that you're able to look at on a daily basis, like how many hours you're sleeping, the calories you're taking in, the number of steps that you're taking, the amount of calories that you burn. All of these little biohacking methods are to allow us to improve our life, our vitality. And what's great is that we all know that what is not measured cannot be improved. We have to be able to measure it in order to do something about it. You probably are familiar with these devices that I'm showing you here, the Whoop Band, the Apple Watch, the Aura Ring. All of these devices give us the ability to be a biohacker in our own life and to watch and measure things that are going on. And all of these measurements have led to multi-billion dollar industries. For example, the cholesterol testing led to a $20 billion statin industry. The bone density scans led to a $200 million in calcium sales. The glucose monitors led to a $1.5 billion industry. And the next thing that we want to know is what's going on inside of our bodies before symptoms appear. And that has to do with antioxidants. And we have had the S3 scanner for a number of years, which I'll talk about in a minute, and the technology behind that. But it hasn't been widely available, not like an Aura Ring or an Apple Watch. We haven't had it where it was available to everyone and it was able to fit into the palm of their hands. Now, an interesting thing happened during COVID. Everybody was on lockdown and people were keenly aware that they needed to take supplements because of farming techniques or soil depletion. You can't eat your way to health any longer. Years ago, they used to say an apple a day would keep the doctor away. But what we know now is that it takes about 19 apples to give us the same nutritional value that we used to get from one apple years ago. And the interesting statistic here is it's not just the elderly or seniors that are paying attention to this. If you look at the statistics down there, the 18 to 34-year-olds, 69% of them are taking a supplement. Now, that's significant. It is a $300 billion global market, 60 billion just in the US. And that leads to the next issue because you know as well as I do that if you're ordering your supplements from Amazon or you're going into the local GNC, you go to the shelf and there may be a $5 bottle of something or a $50 bottle of something, and you probably don't want to get the cheapest. You're not going to spend the most expensive one. And so we end up choosing the supplements that we're putting in our body by the label and the price point. And we have no idea if what we're putting in our body is actually working. And this brings about right here, right now, with what we're talking about in the solution, because you deserve to know and to be able to measure what matters as far as what's going into your body. Now, I told you that I was going to tell you a little bit about the current scanner that we have now. This is using Nobel Prize winning technology. It was funded by the National Institute of Health. And when you get a reading, which takes 60 seconds, you put your hand on the device and it is measuring the level of carotenoids, which is your largest body of antioxidants. And the graphic that you're seeing there in the middle, all those little squiggly lines, if your cells are not protected and you are showing up in the red or the orange on the scanner, it means that your cells are vulnerable to free radicals and oxidative stress and all of the things that we cannot insulate ourselves from because it's a part of the world. I live in Houston, Texas, and we have refineries all around. And so when I go outside, I know I'm breathing in air that is low quality or that is compromised. And so the only thing I can do is create my own blue zone in my body. And the denser that these carotenoids are surrounding every cell of our body, the healthier that we are. And so this truly is a lie detector test. And someone asked me the other day, well, is there a biomarker in your product that is registering on this device? And the answer is no. This device is completely objective. It doesn't care what you're putting in your body, but it will tell you if what you're putting in your body is working. I've had people that were not using any of our products score really, really high. And I've had people that are using hundreds of dollars in supplements that score really, really low. And so what is it about what we have that is significant? And it's all about absorption. And you'll be happy to know that many of our scanner certified products are actually in the physician's desk reference. And so when I saw that early on, that gave me confidence because I worked with plastic surgeons and dermatologists and med spas, and they were interested in vetting and knowing what the science was. And I had the assurance of saying these products are in the physician's desk reference. And what it's measuring, as I said before, are the carotenoid levels. And those are your largest body of antioxidants. And here's the magic formula. When your body is protected and you are feeding it the nutrients that it needs, that are actually absorbing, it becomes like your cellular bodyguard. And it doesn't matter if it's a retina cell or a pancreas cell, it is going to impact every single organ in your body. And when your body is got the right fuel in it, it heals itself, it protects itself, and it impacts all of these areas of the body, from your bone health to your immune, your cardio, your brain health, your skin health. And that shows in the way that you look, and it shows in your energy, how well you sleep. And it's an exciting thing to be able to impact that. Here's the other wonderful thing is that most people will say, well, I go and get my health checkup annually or a couple times a year, and the doctor does a blood serum draw. And what I will tell you is, first of all, I don't know about you, but I don't like needles all that much. And this is the correlation between your scanner score, what is showing up with our biophotonic scanner, and a blood serum draw. So these things not only are corroborating each other, but it gives you a way to non-invasively scan children, family members, and even animals. And so it's great to know that the science is backed up, and a blood serum draw will reflect the same thing that you're going to get from the scanner score, but without the needle. And so the measurable results are what we want. Wherever you begin, you're going to have a scan score. And what we want you to be able to do is begin to create healthy daily habits. I take my Life Pack Nano twice a day and my other supplements twice a day. And over time, you're going to be able to see that scanner score go up. I was one of those people that was taking several $100s in supplements. My first scanner score was 36,000. And I was a little shocked because I thought it would be higher. And I just scanned myself and was 83,000 last week. And so I know that what I'm putting in my body is actually measurable. And that's what we want to know. And guess what? It's about to be the size of a hockey puck and fit into your hand and be affordable for any household that wants it. That means that you will have your own pocket lie detector test from now on that you can put your finger on and in 15 seconds know your score. One of the things that I've noticed, because I travel a lot, is that when I get on an airplane, just because of the radiation that you're exposed to, however small or large it is, my scanner score will drop about 10,000 points, and it takes me a couple of weeks for that to slide right back up. So I know that in spite of the things that I'm putting in my body, that the world is still going on and that it's my job to protect myself. Here's the history of the scanner, and let me share this with you real quick. Okay, so Forbes says that the best time to join a company is during a global expansion or a new product launch. And right now, we are sitting on the precipice of both. And the company behind all of this is Nu Skin Enterprises, over 40 years of being in business, operating in 50 countries around the world. Number one in devices, and this is going to be a device. Most of the devices that we have been for the outside of the body, and you're familiar with our Lumi Spa or our Renew Spa, or in different markets, depending on where you are, the Boost, or all of these devices. We are number one in creating devices. The technology is there. And this device is now going to be about the inside of our body. We have 21 years of billion-dollar revenue. And my favorite stat is that we have paid over $20 billion in commissions. And that meant something to me because when I started, I knew that I had a strong work ethic. I just wanted to know that the company was going to be there to deliver if I built it. If I did what I was supposed to do and I worked hard, I wanted to know that the company was going to be there to stand behind me. And what I learned is when I started in August of 2011, it we really didn't have like a retail profit. There was no such thing as social media or sharing links like an affiliate account or like an Amazon affiliate or like to know it affiliate like we have now. The ability to just send a link and somebody could click and order and it shipped right to their house. So during these 14 years that I've been a part of Nu Skin, the company has continued to innovate. Technology has continued to innovate. And because the company has stayed on top of all of that, incorporating all of these latest advances, That means opportunity for you and me. And it also means stability because the company is going to stay there and be there for us. I have to quickly mention a technology that we own that is proprietary to us. There are a lot of supplement companies out there. Some of them are shaking in their boots because our little lie detector test is going to be able to show the efficacy of their products. And we are the only ones that give a performance guarantee. But there's something else that we have, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but I do want to mention it. We have a brand called AgeLock. AGELOC. It's a $20 billion brand. And what that means is that we can prevent and reverse aging at the genetic level. And it came about through first a joint venture with an affiliation with a company called LifeGen Technologies that Nu Skin later acquired in 2011. And when we purchased them, we got their 30 years of genetic and caloric research. And part of the technology that they had allowed us, you've got 25,000 plus genes in your body, and each of the genes in your body control and operate different parts of our body, right? So let's just take our energy level, which is our little mitochondria, which is the energy pack inside of every cell. Let's just take this particular example so that you can kind of see the power of age lock. So when you're able to map these genes out on a way that's measurable, it's called a gene chip. And what you're looking at on the left is a youthful expression. So, for example, like an 18-year-old, and you can see that the green is upregulated, the red is downregulated. So things are active when we're youthful and maybe not so much. As we get older, it starts to kind of flip, right? And so we had a product that literally works on mitochondrial function in the body. And if you have an 18-year-old and you want to stay in the same genetic family, you might get the gene expression of the grandfather. And so we put grandpa on this product, and after 8 weeks, there was a 92% reset to the youthful expression for mitochondrial function in the body. Now, what is amazing about this is that there may be thousands of other supplement companies in the world, but none of them have the proprietary technology that is ageLock and that's dealing with gene expression. This is something that's uniquely ours, and it is a powerful, powerful engine. So now you're probably wondering, okay, you've said enough. I'm already excited. This looks great. What does the compensation look like? And what we want is to talk to you about having money working for you instead of working for money. This is Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant. And I wish that someone had shown this to me when I was in high school, because I started really working in the business world in my early 20s. And whether you have a job or you're working for yourself and you're self-employed, if you are trading time for money, then you're on the hamster wheel, right? Providing a service, getting paid. And we all only have 24 hours in the day. So where we want to be, all of us, if we're smart, is we want to be able to have a system that's working for us so that our money can grow and then our money can work for us, that is uncoupled from our time. Now, Mark Cuban said that if your products or services are not on automatic delivery, you are doing it wrong. So, how do we uncouple our time from our money? And this is the magic uh, coming together of the Prysm device and the products that impact the Prysm device number that you're getting. And so when you think about it, as you begin to share, and everyone that's on this call in a very short bit of time, just a few months, are going to have one of these devices in your hands. And as you scan your family members and your friends and your healthcare providers and your dental hygienist and the teachers at the school, they're going to look at their number and they're going to want to raise that number. They're going to want a better score and they want to protect their body better. And what better way to do that than putting them on a subscription so that they save money, they get free product vouchers, and they are able to have a 30-day supply and never run out of the fuel that they know is keeping their scanner score high and protecting their body. That is the benefit of the subscription model. So I want to just put on your business cap for a second, and I want to imagine that you are there and you may have a full-time job that you love. You may be, a gym owner and you work with people and you train people, but you'd love to be able to make money while you're sleeping, and you would like to scale this business outside of your geographical location into all parts of the world. And I want you to imagine that there are 50 people in your life that would love to be able to pick up a device and in 15 seconds know what's happening inside their body before symptoms ever show up. It's the early warning detector. And I want you to imagine that those 50 devices are out there and that each one of them is just responsible for bringing in 10 subscriptions. This would create for you a $2,500 a month leveraged commission just by sharing wealth and health with other people. And if you take that and you look at the trajectory over time and you imagine those same 50 prisms expanding to 100 subscriptions, you're looking at a $25,000 a month in leveraged income with people doing what they want to do every day, biohacking and measuring their results and having that score go up. Who doesn't want that? Now, where we are in this launch, it's like upon us. I should have my device at the end of this month. So the early access is going on right now in Q3. In Q4, over 2,000 units are going to go out to qualified leaders. And then as we go into 2026, we're going to be reaching the world. This is happening, and it's an exciting time. Simultaneous to all of that is that we are going to be launching in another country that I'll tell you about. But here's what I want you to know is that up to date, we have had 5,000 of the current S3 scanners. Only 5,000. But we have done over 20 million scans with those 5,000 devices. Imagine what's going to happen when 5,000 devices becomes 25,000 devices. That's where you are right now, being a part of that. This is definitely your moment. The country that we're about to open is India, and the device is going to be part of that launch. The people in that country are very tech savvy, and they're also very conscientious about health. Those two things coming together mean opportunity for you. So if you know someone who has an OCI or is a non-resident Indian, we have so many of them here in the United States and all around the world. That is your opportunity to reach out to them and ask them if they would like to be a part of this launch. So how do you get started today? Well, you're going to get with the person that invited you to the call, get yourself a free account, and begin your own 90-day transformation. Each market has different products, and so just let them know that you want to start with products that are going to be guaranteed to raise that scanner score, and know that if you are able to get your baseline scanner score and you link your products to that scan score, that if your score doesn't go up in 30, 60, 90 days, you get 100% of your money back. We are the only company that does a performance guarantee. So you have the opportunity now to see exactly how fast you're aging, being able to have the power to do something about it. You're going to restore your nutritional bank account, have that healthy gene expression, the ability to measure it, and a performance guarantee. This is truly intelligent wellness, and I am so excited that you've joined me here today, and I look forward to working with you and seeing you in the future.